actually doing this quick vlog as I'm driving back into Georgia to celebrate my birthday today. So I really want to get into the topic that I really want to discuss, which is the psychic journey aspect of what I do, and certain topics that are very, I think, interesting topics, like, you know, mystery schools, the occult, especially Egypt. I did a blog, and I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to my blog at www.minddesignClub.org. I'll put the link in the description below, so you can go ahead and subscribe and get updated relevant news. But okay, so this topic is going to be very short, and it's going to be about Egyptian mystery school. For example, there's this book called the Nag Hammadi. The Nag Hammadi talks about an infiltration, and it's like a Gnostic text. So what is Gnostic text? Gnosticism, there's even, when you hear of Gnosticism, it means knowledge. And then there's Gnostic Christianity. So from other resources and research I've done, they said that Gnostic Christianity was really like the original Christianity that Jesus Christ was teaching. And Jesus himself is an energy healer. He's learned a lot of that practice from his travels to the east, and he has this mystical life where he was able to travel and able to go and learn to become an energy healer from the east. But in the Nag Hammadi, we're going to get real quick into that. It talks about these beings called the Archons. And I looked more further and did research into what are the Archons. The Archons are pretty much aliens. And there's this whole conspiracy about reptilian, shape-shifting, Illuminati, gray aliens. But that's what the Archons were, and they were mentioned in the Nag Hammadis, how back then, I'm not sure if the date was correct, but it's 3,000 years ago that the earth was infiltrated by these alien species in a way that it was hard pressed to describe the infiltration to the people that were getting invaded by these beings, because they were infiltrating in a way that was on a psychic level. And this blog is going to be about psychic abilities. Everybody has them to a varying degree, and they communicate in that natural telepathic sense. We are actually taught languages. We're taught the mechanics of language and grammar to communicate, even as I'm communicating with you verbally now. So the Archons invaded the earth back then, Egypt, and it spread. Their invasion spread on like this hive conscious collective level, and it was very hard pressed for the people that were being suppressed by these aliens to actually explain what they were going through. And I wanted to further talk about the teaching of Don Juan. He's a shaman, and I want to explain how it feels like to be a psychic, to have these abilities, and also to be aware of archonic controls, because these beings do influence your life and influences your psyche level that you may not be aware of, and I want to further discuss that, so we're going to get into that topic. So let's dive into the topic of how they influence people, the Archons. So they influence people on a psychic level, and I already mentioned everybody is naturally psychic, but that's been suppressed. And this is what the mystery school teaches. Okay, this is what the Masons teaches. This is what people that's been initiated like myself, when I've become initiated as an energy healer. But the thing is, I was always born psychic, as everyone is, but you forget that. And I want to further explain like my psychic development, how it happened. But the thing is, I've always been psychic. It's just been shut off, and it's been turned back on through the initiation process as an energy worker. So when these this Archon invaded this earth thousands of years ago, and the thing is, if people are wondering about, are aliens real? Why, if they are real, we would see them out there. The thing is, we've been invaded by them a long time ago, and we're living under their influence without knowing it. Some of the people said, okay, these influences must be the Illuminati. Partially true, but the Archons, what they are, and from the book, The Teaching of Don Juan, because as I was going through my psychic awakening, I could literally pick up on energies and people as they are. And when I see people as I went through this awakening, I saw people as a collective consciousness, a shared consciousness. So if they're sharing a thoughts, a belief system, whether they are a Christian, whether they are a Buddhist, whether they are a Muslim, when they take on that conscious thought, that shared conscious thought, they become part of that collective consciousness. So I see people that way. I see them, and when I see extraterrestrial, and yeah, they are extraterrestrial people, their energy feels different as well. And with extraterrestrial, and they're also highly telepathic. They look human, by the way. They don't look like the reptilians or the greys. When I've seen the reptilians or the greys, I've always seen them in thought space, like in a different dimension, almost. But I've never really encountered them in 3D reality, where like, everyday waking reality. But I have those energies from people that look human, but that felt extremely extraterrestrial. And the Archons work in this aspect where, in the teaching of Don Juan, there's an excerpt that rings true to how they operate, because when the earth was invaded, it was invaded by an extraterrestrial that was very militaristic in nature. The Orion systems and the Syrian. And when they invade you, or when you are in communication with these beings, since they work on the thought forms, and again, the Nag Hammadi said it was hard pressed to describe the invasion, because what happens when you encounter their consciousness, and when you encounter these beings, you're going to encounter them on a mental level as well. What they can actually do to you is give their thoughts, their perception. They can literally give you their mind. They can give you their fear. They can give you the way that they view the world and all of that, so that your mind and your viewpoints reflect how they see the world. And it's a very morose way of like viewing the world from like an archontic level. Because I've had communication with extraterrestrials via deep dream states, and it's always them imparting their minds to their enemy target, and that's how they operate. They know the enemy by getting to the enemy's head. Okay, so when they know the enemy by getting to the enemy's head, this is what I mean. That's a very militaristic tactic, because when the earth got invaded, it was a military force. The Orions, which are what we call them Archons, the Orion and the Syrians, they're very organized like a military. Whether we see them as good or bad, that's really up to judgment. They do lean towards more self-serving. So a lot of the things that they do, because it's serving their self, and it's not serving humanity, that it comes off as being very evil. I'm trying to mature spiritually. Before, when I was getting attacked by them, I was having a psychic awakening, and I became a targeted individual because of that. And at first it was hard pressed for me to even like understand. And this is where, when you're getting invaded and attacked with them, it's very hard pressed to understand what you were going through. So I literally thought I was self-diagnosing myself with schizophrenia, with bipolar, because I did not understand what I was actually going through. I was seeing blue spots everywhere, and I was having migraine headaches, and I was having seizures. as I was doing my research, like what are the blue spots, I came up to find out that it's their technology. So there's a blue light technology, like Project Bluebeam, that they use, and these technologies can literally remotely influence your body, destroy your life, and deteriorate your health from long distant range. It's like an EMF weapon that was being used against me, and at the same time I was having a psychic awakening, and I thought I was going crazy. So what I did was I went to go see a therapist, and I wanted this therapist to help me, and we were going through talk therapy. But this is when I realized I was psychic, like many years ago, like this has been happening like a long time, so I'll say 8 years ago, was that I was reading the psychic's lives. I saw that she had a son and she was stressed out, and all the things that people go through that they never speak of. I was reading this woman as she was supposed to give me therapy, like talk therapy. And then later on I confirmed with her, like, do you have a son, and la da 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 da. Then at that point I'm like, okay, I know too much about you, lady. And I know the stress that you're going through, and I think you're not qualified to call me crazy. And then I realized after meeting with more psychics in the Nashville Psychic Development group, that it was just my psychic awakening, that it felt so like, if you're going to go through this awakening, like, trust somebody that's been through it, this experience that can literally guide you through the experience, that you're not crazy, that you may just need some time to chill out, because as your senses develop, you're gonna think you're going crazy, as all these senses, as you get to know things about people, and as you start feeling people's emotion, you think you're bipolar, and as you start seeing people's lives, and then as you talk to them and you kind of dig deeper, you realize that what you're picking up and what you're sensing is not like any psychotic episode. It's like you being psychic and picking up on these people. And as someone who was closed for a long time, since I was a kid, and my memory of being a kid and psychic is like resurfacing. So I realized that, psychic abilities and psychic awakening can be very intense. Very intense to the point that I had to see a psychiatrist over it. And then that psychiatrist, with her own personal problem, I was able to pick up her kid, her son, and her husband, and her current life situation that there was no way she would have ever told me. But I had to do further digging and befriend her on Facebook and find out that everything I picked up on her was on point. So it was not me going crazy, and I really appreciate her help, but in the end it was just me going through an experience that's really not normal, but I'm sure other people have gone through it, because there's other established psychics that are very fully owning what they are. Yeah, so this vlog is really about me just coming into my own and owning the fact that I am psychic. And I was mentioning the Orions and all these extraterrestrial activities because all this time I was used as a psychic asset to these groups. I didn't have access to be able to use my own mind space and my own ability to pick up things. And since these beings are also highly psychic themselves, they also use their technology to block. They have groups of literally psychics that surround targeted individuals. That's why the targeting happened, and it amped up so much, because they don't want people to know that they're here. They don't want people. They operate in such secrecy that they're willing to kill people over this, and I want to expose them. Whether this sounds like a crazy story or not, I do want to expose the fact that there are extraterrestrials here. They've been here, and them being here is so normal because they look human that you would never ever have suspect that they are extraterrestrial, and they will literally kill to hide these secrets. But I come into my own as a psychic to the point where I'm doing psychic readings now and taking a few clients in and giving them accurate readings that are very insightful to their lives. You even though that's not my full-time job. My full-time job really is pretty much in like web design. I'm a web designer and I'm a marketer. That's all I do for corporations. And he's also freelancing. But this other thing, of them being here, them doing the things to people to the point where like people are literally dying over the things that they're trying to hide, and it becomes like dangerous how they operate. And I want to expose them, and I want this not to be a crazy topic. I want like literally when this comes out and when the truth comes out, people are just like it's that they can handle it, because I know the human psyche is so fragile, and you're dealing with a group that's why this part that I want every human to develop, I want it to be really refined and developed. And I don't want people to be afraid of this, because humans has these natural ability, all of us do. All of us are intuitive. But like I said, like they were targeting me because of my abilities, and were using me as a psychic asset. So many times in my dream state, I would have dreams of doing things for them. Like I had to remote view other planets and saw other alien life on other planets, and I had to read the writings. And the thing is, when they colonized, the architecture of Egypt. The architecture of Egypt is that pyramid, that whole architectural structure that they like to build when they colonize planets, are also on other planets as well, and star systems that they've colonized. So I'm gonna do another vlog video if you're interested in what I've channeled through my dreams, because they tend to like to send me there just to retrieve information for them, to remote view things and retrieve information that they can't reach through. But sometimes they don't do a good job of blocking me from like of like knowing what I was doing for them. So now I'm aware of what I was being used for, and I don't want them to be accessing me, using me for that. But I will be doing a video. I think it would be a fun video for you guys to learn and to know of the things that I've channeled and informations that I've gotten. And again, they don't want people to know. They're willing to kill and hide and keep secrets. But tune in on the second vlog I'm going to make, which is going to be about my channeling on Egypt and the Orion and other star system. I think it's going to be really interesting. You guys might want to tune in on that. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my video and be updated on similar posts or anything interesting. I want to create more content and let people get to know me a little bit better. So there will be things like beauty products, reviews, a little bit more psychic channel work if you guys are interested in learning something that I've picked up. I've been downloaded with from my dream last night. You want to know more about targeted individuals and how to survive the attacks. Things like that. Subscribe to my channel, and also my blog. I have a wellness blog, and I want to focus on serving people and giving people health and a good quality of life through my website is of course www.minddesign